Well, guys, we won. That's right, as of, I believe, Thursday night of last week, the Chime skulls are finally gone. I know I'm super late to the party with this one, but I had other things that I was worrying about, but I figured that it would be absolutely criminal if I didn't make a video expressing how happy I am that this happened, and not only that, but expressing how grateful I am to you guys for making it happen. The amount of outpouring of support after the Chime skulls were removed, the amount of positivity sent my way, the amount of people thanking me, it was staggering. And to put it bluntly, I think I had the most DMs that I've had since probably way back when I was really popular playing YBA. That's how many people reached out to me, either thanking me or letting me know that the Chime skulls were gone. And the thing is that while there's a lot of people out there that gave me the sole credit for making this happen, I don't think that's true. And I think the reality of the day is that the real people responsible for the Chime skulls getting removed, well, it's the player base themselves, not me. Sure, you could make the argument that if I hadn't come along and made a big stink about it and been obnoxious on the public forum that I've been given to by you guys, and literally wouldn't exist without you guys, then the Chime skulls probably would have just lingered around forever and been a pain in everyone's ass. But at the end of the day, like I said, you all are the people who gave me the platform to begin with in order to make positive change happen. And really, this whole thing has just been the very embodiment of why I continue to run a channel to begin with. This is the kind of stuff that keeps me going. It's always Eclipse is negative about this, Eclipse hates that, and I feel like I've definitely said this before, because I have, but at the end of the day, what I think a lot of those people don't understand is that a lot of the negative criticisms that I have against games that I enjoy is because I want those games to be better. And when it came to the Chime skulls, that's just how I felt. I thought the game would be better without Chime skulls. And clearly, a lot of people agreed with me. Granted, I'm sure there's also going to be a fairly decent subset of people that aren't happy about this. But I can say comfortably, monitoring not only my DMs, but also the Deep Woken general chat for the last few days, just to see what the general sentiment was, these people are heavily outnumbered, which is what I believed from the get-go. The very small fringe subset of Chime of Conflict players that wanted to gatekeep everybody else from playing the game mode have lost, and they're being exposed for exactly what they are, a loud minority. As for the game mode itself, well, obviously I'm playing it in the background. And you'll probably be thoroughly unsurprised to learn that despite playing about 30 to 40 minutes of Chime and playing quite a few games, I won 3 of them. And you know what? That's really telling to the system at hand, because I cannot even begin to imagine trying to play this much Chime in the previous system. The sheer amount of time I would have spent either escaping the depths or fighting bosses in order to get one more game, die, and then repeat the process, I don't want to think about it. But I think the really great thing about all of this is that Chime of Conflict now feels like an addition to the game rather than a separate game, which is almost sort of what it was before. For anyone who's followed me for any extended period of time, you'll probably know that despite my reputation for playing fighting games, I actually don't like them very much. And because of that, it's probably not hugely surprising to hear from me that the main draw for Deep Woken to me is not the PvP. I think the PvP is well made, and I think it's relatively fun to interact with from time to time, but I don't see myself sitting here sweating it out trying to get extremely good at PvP, because that's not what appeals to me when it comes to this game. Things that appeal to me when it comes to Deep Woken are mostly stemming from my YouTube channel itself. I like taking the game's world and lore and creating storylines around it, and then posting them for you guys to enjoy. The PvE combat and interesting build making is what really draws me to Deep Woken, not the sweaty PvP Chime stuff. That being said, the fact that it was inaccessible before was a real shame, and the fact that I can literally just jump in with whatever build I want and fuck around and play against other players without having to constantly take time out of my day to fight bosses or escape the depths for no real reason, let's be honest here, was a very, very nice change of pace. And I think the most interesting thing about my Chime session for the recording of this video was just how not angry I was. We've covered a few of the comments in Daily Dose of Stupid, but there are a lot of people that were saying yada yada yada, Eclipse is just mad that he's losing. But that's far from the case. I'm more than capable of accepting that I am nowhere close to God's gift to Deepwoken's PvP, nor even really very good at it to begin with. And because of that, I expect the people that I'm playing against in the competitive PvP game modes to generally be better than I am. And because of that, when I lose, what's really important to me is what I took away from the match. Did I feel it was close? Did I feel like I was learning something towards the end of it? Or was it a complete blowout? And if it was, why? Deepwoken is a game packed with such a ridiculous amount of weapons and attunements and mantras that it's not realistic that any one person is going to learn every single one of them. So if you're going into a Chime match, there's a very good chance you're going to run into something that you don't know how to deal with and you have to learn. And the reality is that a lot of the time, by the time you do learn how to deal with it, the damage has already been done. It's too late. But the beauty of not getting kicked into the dirt every single time you lose is that when you finish that game and you've learned how to fight against that thing, or at least made steps towards learning how to fight against that thing, the next time you run up against it, you're gonna have a general idea of what you're doing. And that's what I think that the Chime of Conflict should be for those of us who are not just chasing Elo. Because the game mode never should have been just for people chasing Elo. And now, it's not. It's a learning opportunity and a tool for people to learn about things in the game without being put at an extreme detriment. Now, there was one other big thing of note that came with the update on Friday, or more so on Thursday. I don't exactly know what happened there. There were some things that went live on Thursday and some things that went live on Friday. It was weird. But regardless, the other huge change that's extremely player-friendly that came out on Thursday was the addition of the ability to get free character slots. Previous to now, if you wanted to get a character slot, you would have to pay for it no matter what, which means that when you bought the game, you got one character slot, and if you didn't want to pay any more, that's it. This system seemed pretty clearly engineered to encourage people to pay extra money for the game, considering that there aren't really any microtransactions present. So it struck me as extremely weird and out of nowhere when all of a sudden the developers just decided, hey, we're going to make it so if you get to max power as well as get an A rank, both badges on the game, we're going to give you an extra character slot for both of those, making it so when you purchase the game, if you do both these accomplishments, you can get up to 3 slots. Now, the reason that this struck me as weird is because realistically, if you're playing Deepwoken, you are never going to need more than 3 slots. That's because you can have a slot that you intend for using when it comes to PvP, you can have a slot that you intend for using to farm PvE stuff, and then you can have a third slot that you can use to experiment or mess around with. I think for most people who are looking to penny pinch, 3 slots was already just about the perfect number. And now you can get that without paying any extra money. It is extremely pro-consumer, so much so that it was to a worrying degree for me. I hadn't mentioned it until now, but after Chime Skulls were removed, Archmage, one of the head developers over at Deepwoken, had sent me a message about it and told me it had happened. Now, a lot of people have asked me why don't I send my videos to Archmage, or if I have a direct line to him, why am I not more vocal about the things that I want changed? And really, a lot of that comes down to, I guess, a moral stance on my part. I never want to feel like my platform is giving me a huge voice above others more than it kind of already does. And I feel like it's pushing boundaries to have access to developers and directly reach out to them to ask them to do things or to ask them things. If it's up on a public forum and people can talk about it and people see my opinions and they can weigh in, I think that's a lot more fair than sort of shady behind the scenes dealings. And because of that, despite the fact that I technically have a line into the back end of Deepwoken, I don't use it. That being said, after Archmage reached out to me and we were talking about the Chime of Conflict stuff, I did bring up the issue of the free character slots because again, it worried me. I want to see a game that in my opinion is one of the best games on the platform succeed and make money because the game deserves to succeed and make money. And the response that I got from him was staggering, to say the least. I'm sharing this DM without permission, but I would be absolutely blown away if he didn't give me permission to share this, because this is the kind of person that I aspire to be like. Given the same position, I can't say I would do the same. When I asked, didn't you guys say that slots are one of your big money makers? I can't see too many normal players ever needing more than 3 slots, so I found the free slots decision, well, a little worrying. I know that sounds weird coming from me, but I want to see games that I think deserve it make money, so I was scratching my head a bit with the badge rewards. And he responded, oh, they are, but I'd rather more people had fun and had motivation to keep playing than make more money. Game makes more than enough money as it is, and we don't really make games for the money. Like, no doubt it would cost us thousands of dollars we would have got, but I don't really care about it. I'd rather people had more fun with the game. Already seen people roll some cool races and have fun with their new slots, which is more than worth it. I don't have words for that. I really don't have words for that. I wish we had more developers like this on the platform. That's all I can say. Anyways, at this point, or really for the whole video, I've just sort of been rambling on because I wanted to make a video but didn't exactly know what I wanted to say. I just wanted to get on here and spread the positivity because right now, times are pretty damn good. In case it wasn't abundantly clear, there were a lot of people that were asking if I was going to make a Chime-related story video where I tried to get 1,000 elo. You're out of your goddamn mind if you think I'm gonna do that. So scratch that out of your mind because that sounds incredibly painful. But as for Deep Woken, it might go on a little bit of a hiatus for now. I've exhausted a lot of what I want to do, and the last few ideas I have for things that I do want to do, well, I'm not sure if I'll get around to it. Either way, whenever the game gets around to having their big conquest update that I'm not very invested in because that seems to be mostly PvP oriented, I'll still make a return and definitely take a look. But anyways, that's wrapping up today's video. A huge thank you to all of you who continue to support me and make this happen. If you enjoy the videos, as always, you can leave a like, subscribe to the channel, do all the fun stuff. But with that being said, I'm done here. So have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you guys next time.